Okay, so today we have an exciting call today because we have a guest with us. We are going to be talking about the Technovation Alumni platform as well as a few judging updates that I have for all of you for the 2018 season. But before we get started, I want to just do a quick reminder about the registration deadline. I'm going to keep hammering this home that it's March 7th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So that means where you're from, it could be like midnight on March 8th, or it could be, later in the day. But it is 5 p.m. Pacific time on March 7th. I also want to remind you to create your regional pitch event on the platform by March 20th. And I'll go over that briefly during today's call and what that means. But just a reminder to create that event so that it's already on the platform. You just have to start adding your teams and judges when that feature is ready. And then also to start reviewing team submissions on your dashboard. So this year we opened up submissions a lot sooner so that students could start uploading pieces of their submission as soon as they complete them. So I'd encourage you to check out that portion of your Regional Ambassador dashboard as well, because then you can monitor how far students are along in the process. But I want to start out with introducing Monica. Monica is our program manager for Technovation, and she wears so many different hats here at our organization. So she is responsible for managing the mentors. She spearheaded the alumni project, the initiative that we have going on. And she does a lot of different things at our organization. So I'm going to hand it over to Monica to talk about the Alumni Association platform and how you, as a regional ambassador, can be an admin on the platform and add events, add content, and so forth. So I'm going to I'm going to switch over to Monica so that she can have remote control.
Great, thank you, Katie. Hi, all wonderful RAs. It's nice to see some of you on here. Noreen, I know very well. Elena, Rachel, it's good to see all of you. As Katie mentioned, I wanted to talk about our brand new Alumni Association, tell you why we decided to build this and what opportunities alumni have and what you have. I think, do I have access yet, Katie?
I think so.
You are viewing Katie's screen. I'm going to request the... Oh, there we go. Okay. So we were thinking about the growth of Technovation, and we were curious about what happens to our alumni afterwards. And we decided that we still wanted to continue providing support to our alumni. So currently we have 27,000 alumni in about 120 different countries. And the best way for us to stay connected with them to provide future opportunities such as internships, jobs, content around STEM and entrepreneurship was to build an alumni association site. So some of you may have had or have access to a similar site if you went to a large college or university. It's the same type of structure where we can engage with them. So I'm going to show you a few features and then what are some opportunities for RAs. So you can see on the front page here, when they log in, they can see there's different types of events that are available in their area or around the world. They can see news and updates. So this is really STEM and entrepreneurship articles that we have collected and will post for them. And then, of course, connected to our social media sites and photos. And then some other opportunities for them is we are starting an alumni blog, and we'll be featuring a new alumni every month so everyone can see what girls are doing. Are they developing their app? Are they entering different careers and scholarship opportunities? And then here's our Career Center. So we are working with our current corporate partners to be able to post jobs on our site and internships. We have a few internal jobs with Iridescent where we're looking for interns to help with STEM research and social media, and so they can come and see here. So any job or internship that is in their country or city, they'll be notified. There's a lot of automated features to help them find the best content that's for them. And so our first job opportunity will most likely be from Adobe. They'll start posting some different opportunities here for girls in Asia and in the US. And then we've created these different pages to organize the content. So we've found different scholarship opportunities, associations, career services, college services. This one's global. This page shows global opportunities, but we've built some things out for specific regions, like we have Europe, for example. So we're starting to build this. And if you have content that you think that will be helpful, you can share them with us as well, and we'll post them on here. So I think the two most beneficial tools for you are the events and the directory. So when you create an account, and this is the same thing for our alumni, they're able to see like where are all the alumni. So again, we have 27,000 alumni, and if they want to do a more detailed search, they can, or if you want to do more detailed search, you can go to this feature, and you can search for girls by the year that they participated in Technovation. You can search for girls by their education. So what happens is when you create an account, you have the option to create an account using your LinkedIn profile, and then all of that, whatever's on your LinkedIn profile is populated here, or you can do a custom feature and just add your information. So if you want to search for girl alumni in your city or country or state, by employer. So there's all these different options to find and reconnect with alumni. So let me show you what the profile looks like. So when you go to a profile, you'll see like of any alumni or yourself or staff, you'll see information that they've decided to share. Here we can see Katie's shy. She hasn't shared too much, but you'll be able to, on the left-hand side, you can see, you can pick what interests or what interests you have. So let's say that Katie put interest in horseback riding, and then she clicked on that. So if anything ever came up about horseback riding, we have these tags, and that she'll be notified of new content about horseback riding. If Katie wanted to see who has similar interests to her, or similar or maybe they're in the same area or location. So for example, Katie's based in San Francisco. So this is showing all the alumni that are in San Francisco right now. And if they have a photo, that means that they're active on the platform, so that they're here, they've built their database. If they have this blank space here, that means they haven't accepted our invitation, so they're not active. If you want to see, maybe you want to reconnect with an alumni, or you're looking for them, you want to see if they know about the platform or what's happening, this gives you information. You can see like if they've clicked on the emails, if they've logged in, if they've accepted things. So sometimes I know that it's hard to connect with people because you don't know if they're responsive or interested, but this will be able to tell us, okay, this person's been active, they come to the site, they're interested in engaging with Technovation, and then you can reach out to them. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box as we go along. So I'll just go back to the event section. So here's another opportunity. We've posted other STEM opportunities here for the girls. There's a biomimicry challenge. NASA has a lot of competitions. And then we have Technovation events. So as an RA, you can post events here in this section. And it's a full event management tool. So you could post an event, send invitations to girls that are in your area, or girls that have listed a specific interest, like maybe they're interested in being a mentor or being a judge. They can confirm their interest here or register, and then you have an attendee list here. You can manually add people, and you can send an email to people. So let's say you wanted to invite girls to a workshop. They can register here, and then a few days before the workshop, you can send them a reminder of the workshop time and dates. As an attendee, it shows that they can add the event to their calendar, so it's there. And again, you can see like who's attending. So we already have 30. This is the World Pitch event, and it shows like how many alumni are planning on attending. 35 girls have already RSVP'd for it, and they can do social media share and leave comments here. So now I want to talk about the data that we're collecting, which may interest you. Some of the options we have. So out of 27,000 alumni, we have over 1,000 that have registered. So this has happened. We launched the site 3 weeks ago. So our goal is by August, we have 70% of the girls that will be registered on the platform. And we have, when you create your account, or if you want to create your account, you can send custom messages. So I'm trying to scroll down a little bit more, but there's an icon blocking me. Hold on. Oh, here we go. So let's say that you want to reconnect with alumni in your area, you can pick groups by, like, you can create girls that participated in Technovation in 2011, or girls that are in your city or in your state, or girls that are interested in mentorship. You don't have to actually go and search for them. This website will populate them here. So it's an easy click process. You can do a custom email and send to them, and then you can check to see who's opened the email, who's clicked, who has any questions. Katie, is there anything else you wanted me to share or show?
So all of our regional ambassadors, they would be an admin on the site. So they would have the ability to add events and add content, and send emails, right?
Yeah.
So how is there a process for them getting approved as an admin, or what does that look like when they get registered? Do they select admin, or how does that work?
Yeah, so they can go to the site and create an account, and then just let me know on Slack that they created an account, and then I'll approve it and then make you an admin.
Okay, so either email you or Slack you and let you know that you'd like admin access.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So I think that some of the benefits of having an admin account on this website, it's totally optional. You know, this is just a way for you to engage with students in your area. But say you have an event where you want alumni speakers, or you want to have an alumni panel to get the girls inspired, or re-engage them in the program. So I think that's a really good use of the platform, is being able to find alumni and reach out to them. I think that's a great way to keep the girls engaged. Or maybe you have an event that's open to the public, like a regional pitch event, and you just want to boost your attendance, so you invite girls from, your area. But I think as a whole, as an organization, Technovation is trying to continue building on our momentum so that Technovation doesn't just end after they submit their app. And that's a lot of question I get sometimes from partners, from our regional ambassadors, that the girls are like, okay, now what? What do I do now? Well, this is an opportunity for them to connect with girls from all around the world, to see about internships, job resources, things like that. And so it's a tangible next step for them after the program ends. I think that's part of where the value really lies in the program. And one point to make is that this is very different from the Student Ambassador Program. So this Alumni Association is for all of our alumni around the world. And the Student Ambassador Program is an application process where students will apply to be part of a select cohort, and they serve as what I would consider a junior regional ambassador because they're conducting outreach, recruiting students and mentors, hosting events. So this is a little bit different because it's a platform from all of our alumni around the world versus the Student Ambassador Program, which is a select cohort and a leadership development training program. Are there questions from everyone? I'm going to take control back from Monica and see what the chat might be. Anyone talking in the chat? No, it's a quiet crowd today. All right, and I also included Monica's email in the slide deck, which I'll share out, of course, after the call. So let's go ahead and continue with our webinar today, but let me know if there's other questions you might have for Monica, and I can certainly pass them along to her. Okay. So now I want to just cover how to create a regional pitch event. And this is important so that students are placed in the correct judging pool if you are hosting a regional pitch event that has more than 10 teams. So this is what your dashboard looks like as a regional ambassador. I have a regional ambassador account for San Francisco. So if I want to add an event, I would click the event tab. And I can just simply name my event, so South Bay Junior Division. It's going to be, I have to make sure I click that it's a junior division only event. If it's going to be both, I would select both of these. And that it's in Sunnyvale. Let's say that it's at Juniper and it's going to be on May 12th. Keep in mind that all of these details are editable. So whatever you put here, if you don't know the venue address, that's totally fine. If you don't know the date yet, that's fine. Even when I did have that deadline of March 20th to add your event to the platform, but even after you add it, it's still editable. So just keep that in mind. I have an event on the platform for San Francisco, and I don't have the details yet for it, but it's still on there so that girls can be aware of it. Currently, there is not, the features for adding teams and judges are still in the works, so you won't be able to add teams or judges yet to your event, but I promise you that's coming up very soon, hopefully in mid-March. We only have a software team of one, that's Joe, and he had to make improvements from last year. So stay tuned for that. I will, of course, let all of you know when those features are live for that. One thing that I want to draw your attention to is the URL for new judges to sign up. So this is a very new feature for this year. All judges need to be sent a special registration link to sign up. So you can do this in a couple ways. You can either copy and paste this URL to send to your judges that you want to recruit for your event, or when the feature is live and you add judges to your event, it will ask them to register if they haven't done so already. So keep that in mind that that's new for this year. Last year, anyone could sign up as a judge. And this is really this new invitation-only URL link is to make sure that we have high-quality judges who are passionate and well-skilled and are committed to reviewing the girls' submissions. All right. Another thing is that mentors can switch to judge mode from their dashboards if they want to be a judge, but they will only be allowed to be virtual judges. They cannot be in-person judges at your event. When you are recruiting judges for your event, I encourage you to use this judge recruitment flyer. So this is what we're using to promote judging both in person and virtual. So it gives a little bit of a background about what judging entails and the importance of it, that they're actually helping select 12 finalist teams by evaluating the girls' submissions. There is a new requirement this year to do a short online training. It's only about 20 to 30 minutes. It is a mandatory training. Last year it was optional. And this is once again to improve the quality of our judges and to make sure that they understand, basically how the program runs, the purpose of judging, to consider certain factors when evaluating their submissions. We go over a case study of what a judging looks like, the submission guidelines, and the judging rubric. So it's an ebook. It's not an online webinar. It's not a live training. It's a short, self-paced ebook that they can access. Once the judges complete their training, they'll be asked to review at least 5 submissions in the quarterfinals. So your regional pitch event judges are already going to fit that requirement because you will have 10 teams or more at your regional pitch event. And we have a few incentives this year for judges. So if they review at least 5 submissions, they'll be a certified judge. If they review more than 5 submissions, which all of your regional pitch event judges will do, they will be considered a head judge. So they can receive a certificate, a LinkedIn recommendation, and also 6 to 10 employee volunteer hours for their workplace. And then a judge advisor is the highest tier, and those are judges who are kind of like our all-stars. So they review 11 or more submissions, and they have the opportunity to be listed as a judge advisor on our website. So those are a few new incentives this year. We want to make sure that the judges are really engaged and that they are committed to reviewing these submissions, and that we have a high-quality pool of judges. We don't want any trolls. And so this is a way that we're improving upon some learnings that we had last year. There's also a create a judge account link here. It's that same registration link that I showed you earlier. So if you send this flyer, they automatically have an opportunity to create a judge account. When the judges register, they'll be sent to this dashboard. So they have a few different steps that they're required to do. One is setting their location, just like all of our students and mentors do. Signing the consent form. It's that same volunteer form that our mentors do that just goes over some things about liability and the role of a volunteer, and answering a couple of short survey questions. So when they click on this short survey, they'll be asked to just say what their industry is, whether it's technology or their marketing, entrepreneurship, maybe they're in another field, and whether or not they would like to be on our virtual judge committee. Right now, the judge training isn't live, but it'll be ready in mid-March. We're just developing a few new videos. We just redesigned the user interface for the judges when they're scoring submissions. And so we want to make sure that we have some training videos for them that are comprehensive. So that training will be ready in mid-March, and all judges are required to complete the training before May 1st. So just keep that in mind, that these are a few new things for judges to complete. When the judges finish their training, there'll be a short commitment form at the end that they'll be asked to sign to certify that they completed the training, that they commit to reviewing at least 5 submissions, and that they promise to review these submissions with integrity, and also provide thoughtful feedback to the girls. So once again, just make sure that you communicate that to your potential judges, that there is a judge training, the commitment form that they sign, and you can go ahead and get started in recruiting them. The earlier, the better. That's what we always think at Technovation. So I'm going to go ahead and see if there are any questions in the chat box. I saw it lighting up a little bit. All right, Joe brought up a very good point that the URL is for brand new judges. Judges who already have an account on the platform can go ahead and log in. They will need to complete the training. So regardless of whether or not they were a judge last year, everyone will need to do the training. But judges from last year can certainly still access their account with the same login. This URL is for only new judges. And then Joe just put in the chat that for an existing mentor to become a judge, they can toggle back and forth, switch from mentor to judge mode on their dashboard. All right, thanks Joe for joining. Nice surprise. Okay. Are there any other questions? Does anyone want to unmute? If you have any questions, comments, concerns, happy to hear them.
I have one question. This is Mia from Canada. Hi. So I have one question. I'd like to ask if we have, if we have 9 teams in the junior division, so we don't have to run the official regional pitch. So in that case, do we have to recruit judges for that region?
If you are not hosting an official regional pitch event, you are hosting a celebration event, and the format of that is much more flexible. So if you would rather it not be a competitive event with judging, that's fine. Some regions choose to host celebration events that have judges and can give the girls feedback. It's just really important, and they award a regional winner or a national winner for their celebration event. Yeah. It's just important that you communicate to the girls that this is feedback for you to improve on your ideas, and that you are officially scored on the platform by our virtual judges.
So my question is, do I need to be worried about recruiting virtual judges, or you guys will have to that?
No. So we encourage all of our regional ambassadors to recruit virtual judges. That's up to you. We need, as many virtual judges as we can get. We have a goal of recruiting.
I could ask, so for example, I could ask my mentors in the senior division to become a virtual judge for the junior division, right? I have mentors in the senior division, but they can sign up to be a virtual judge for the junior division.
So this is how the virtual judges work. If you are a virtual judge and you are a mentor, you will only see students who are outside of your division and outside.
Okay.
So the algorithm will automatically only allow you to see students outside of your region and outside of your division to prevent a conflict of interest.
Okay. So the idea maybe is that all of us try to encourage our mentor to sign up as a judge. If all of us do that, so my mentors will help other regions and other mentors will help my region.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So, and that's something to keep in mind, because some people think that when they sign up as a virtual judge, they'll be looking at girls that are within their region. And that's not always the case. That will not happen if you're a mentor. You certainly will not. If you're a virtual judge who's not a mentor, you may or may not see girls that are within your region, but they can't just keep clicking through and trying to find girls within their region, because the algorithm is only going to allow you. It's going to show you teams who still need scores. So they need a minimum of 3 scores. So the algorithm will sort them based off of those requirements.
Okay, that makes sense. So I'll just encourage my mentor to sign up. So in return, if other regions are helping us.
Right. Exactly.
And then another side question I have is that you guys collect a lot of surveys from the students, pre-survey, post-survey, and is there a way that we can get access to those data, at least for my region? Because we're applying for some grants, and then some of the grants does require us to say, do you have a way of measuring your impact, right? And then we could develop something separate, but that will be just too much for the girls to complete a survey at your side and complete something on our side, right? If we could have access to your data, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you for that suggestion. So I'll work with the assessment team on that request, because they look at the survey data, but I can certainly forward that request to them and try and get you survey data for girls that are within your region, because that
would be great.
Helpful for your learning outcomes.
Yes, thank you. That's all my questions. Yeah.
Great. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
This is Phyllis from Northern Uganda. Yes, I was inquiring if you're to host a regional pitch event, does it have to, is it a must for it to be between 1st of May to the 25th? Because most of the schools we are working with, they are going to be in holiday during that time, and I'm still wondering how it's going to happen.
Yeah, so it is required for the event to be held during May 1st through May 20th. I know that is challenging in some places because of the school calendar, but it it does need to fall within May 1st to May 20th. If it falls outside of those days, then it would be considered a celebration event. So if you want to host an event in April or June, that's fine, but it would be a celebration event, and the girls would automatically be placed in the virtual pool and be judged by our virtual judges.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's challenging, but for the majority of our students, the school calendar fits well within those date range.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other question is about the pre-surveys. Could we like do that exact survey and then like have the students fill it in hard copy and share with you the scanned copies, or that would be a lot of work for your team?
Okay, interesting. So the survey, just so everyone knows, that is not a mandatory part of the registration process. So that's not required, although we really encourage you to have that data collected for evaluation purposes. I think that Madhvi, she's our senior director, she's going to shut down the survey maybe in the second week of March or so. So you do have some time if you want the girls to do it on the platform. If you still want the girls to complete it, I think the sooner the better, just because in May we'll have the post survey. So there's there's kind of a short time frame between now and when it's still considered pre. So I think that if you want to create your own version of it, make a copy of it and have the girls complete it, that's fine. And we can still take that into consideration if, it's hard for the girls to complete it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Alrighty. In that case, I'll go back to sharing my screen. Okay. So a question that we often get asked, these might have been covered already, so I'll skip through them. Can I recruit virtual judges as an RA? Yes, definitely. Thanks, Mia, for asking that question. Can mentors be judges? Yes, but only as virtual judges. And keep in mind that even if they are a mentor, they still need to complete the online training. Can regional ambassadors be judges? Yes, but only as virtual judges. So you will have the ability to also judge submissions, but you'll be seeing girls that are outside of your region as a regional ambassador. And then, do regional pitch event judges need to do the online training? So yes, both virtual and in-person judges need to do the training. Once again, that's self-paced, it's online. If they register today, they would have from now until May 1st to do that training. So they have quite a long time period in between now and May 1st to do that. So it's good to keep an eye on your judges. You will have the ability to see whether or not they have fully completed their registration process and onboarding tasks. So you will have that ability to monitor their registration and their profile to see if they have indeed completed it or not. So a quick couple notes about in-person judges. Some people ask me, what's the ideal profile of a judge? And just as a review, some ideas would be having expertise in the curriculum area. So that's a given, that they would have expertise in coding, marketing, business plan development, or pitching. Maybe they're an investor or there's a product development manager. So keep in mind that you should have a well-rounded panel, someone who can represent each of those curriculum areas. But also consider other factors like being an inspiring figure for young girls or being a representative from a sponsor. That's a great way to thank your judges or thank your sponsoring organizations. Like, for example, if you were to host your event at a university, you could have one of the deans or professors serve on your judge panel. If you received funding from Google or IBM or another organization, you could invite maybe one of their vice presidents or someone from their senior leadership team as a judge, as a way to thank them and keep them involved and engaged in your program. Because I think when someone serves as a judge, they really see the impact of the program firsthand, and it provides momentum for your program. So they could be, if they're not currently a funder, they could be a funder next year. So think of potential funders and current funders as a way to get them more involved. Submissions will be available to review starting May 1st. So I would highly recommend that when you have in-person judges, that they take a look at some of the judging rubric areas, like the ideation, entrepreneurship, and technical areas before the day of your event, and submit scores for those areas. They can always edit them and change them the day of your event. That way, when you have your event, they are focusing only on the pitch, so that they're paying really close attention to the girls' public speaking, how well they're presenting their idea, and their overall impression of the teams. I think if they're trying to go through all of those categories, it can be a bit much, when really the live pitch is one of the most important factors that day. So keep in mind that they have that ability to review, and they have the ability to edit any scores that they put in before the day of the event. So they can always edit them the day of the regional pitch event. The scores need to be entered by May 22nd. So sometimes judges, maybe they use a hard copy, they use the paper rubric, and they're writing down scores for each of their teams. But they really need to make sure that they upload those scores on the platform. You, as a regional ambassador, cannot upload scores, so it's important that you follow up with your judges to make sure that they submit them. Otherwise, the girls may only look like they have 2 scores for that first round. So you can choose your winner at the event and announce them. The judges deliberate, they have their scores ready, but you announce the winners, but they need to submit their scores either during or immediately after the event. With virtual judges, I think we covered this pretty well. One just important note is that the virtual judges are going to see global submissions, and that they commit to reviewing 5 submissions May 1st through May 20th. It should only be about a 3-hour commitment that they will make, because they can do this from the comfort of their own home, take as much time as they need or as little time as they need to provide a good score and provide good feedback for the teams. And lots of people can be judges, but we are being selective. That's why we have that registration link, because we don't want just a random person signing up. We trust you as regional ambassadors to have qualified people within your network, people who have integrity, and people who are honest to be able to judge the girls. So that's why we have that registration link. So that, you know, some Joe Schmo who signs up online isn't evaluating the girls, that they are people within your network who can judge girls from as far away as Kenya to Canada to China. All right. So, any other questions? Okay, Slack, or the channels have a few different messages on here. So Rachel's asking if we can assign judges to teams again this year, and that will be possible. Some of you are hosting very large events that have, you know, could have 40 teams at them, and you have a conference center, you have a really big venue space where you can have different rooms, and you can assign judges to those rooms and assign them to specific teams to judge.
So I was bringing up my one issue, though, is that I don't do it that way. Of course I don't do it that way. Why would I do it that way? Because that would be the same as how someone else does it. So that what I've done is I always so the thing is I say I have a bunch of UX designers, and I'll scatter them throughout my teams to make sure that you don't have 2 UX designers. And I try to avoid patterns of that engineer, that UX designer, that business person are scoring the same teams in a group. Yeah. I mix it up. So so Joe is talking about the rooms, and that isn't how I like to do it.
Right.
I like to make it harder.
Yep. And what I always say is that, if you do have a different way of doing it and you want to run this, Rachel, we've talked about this before, and but if you do have a large event, what I would suggest to everyone here is that if you have a large event with more than 15 teams and you have some ideas about how to keep the program succinct and short, and also have the girls have the required number of scores, which is at least 3, and you have some ideas or questions or ways that you want to customize it, run those ideas past me. I can also connect you with Rachel and Jean, who have experience hosting these large events, because you may find that you need to, do it a different way than a traditional model. So Rachel likes to randomize her judge assignments. Jean, our other regional ambassador in Minnesota, likes to have assigned judges per room. So I think that if you have ideas about how you can customize your event, especially if you have a large event, I think just run it by our team and bounce your ideas off of us, and also get some advice from Rachel and Jean in the US. For places, most of the people on this call today will have probably 10 teams. Esther in Spain might be an exception, but most of us will have, actually there's a few people with large events on here. So, just run it by us if you have ideas about customizing it and making it an easier judge experience, because, it's exhausting for the judges if they're going to be there for like 8 hours. So if you need to think about ways for assigning judges and making it, assigning rooms, just talk to us. But for those of you who have 10 teams, that's not going to really be an issue. You can get your event done in 4 hours and have the judges review all 10 girls. Okay. So I just want to open it up for discussion and see if anyone has any Joe has a question. Did someone ask something?
Hey, Katie.
Yeah.
You said that mentors cannot be in-person judges, and I understand that. My question is a bit more specific on that point. If somebody is a mentor, but they didn't join any teams, can that person become an in-person judge?
So I think that what the easiest case would be is just for us, because that seems like an exception rather than the rule, is for us to, as an admin, to change their account over to judge or remove them from the season, and they can register as a judge.
So the way it works now is that they could just switch to judging mode. And so what I understand you're saying is we would remove their mentor account so that they can become selectable as somebody to assign to an event.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the best ways to do that. But we can always talk about this offline, Joe, because I think that that's a kind of a rare instance where they're a mentor, but they didn't actually mentor any teams. So I think
that would be really helpful, because I tend to, we have some that people sort of, they intend to be mentors and they register as mentors, but then their time commitment change, and so they sort of have to drop out. They don't connect with the team for that reason, but then it's like, I could use them elsewhere if I could.
Right. So I think that I'm hearing a need from some of our larger areas. So I think that will require some brainstorming. All of these interesting user cases where they're an exception. So let's brainstorm about that. But it's good to hear that that's a need from financing. That's a need from Rachel as well.
Right. So as of right now, it sounds like the simplest case is for the RA to let us know who they would like to be freed up as a judge.
Right.
And then we can adjust their account so that they can be assigned to a
Right. I think that would be the easiest.
That would be super cool. Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone have, on a light note, does anyone have any program updates that they want to share, or exciting news, or something that they, were proud of, or, any general program updates that you'd like to share with us, just as a nice way to end the call?
I'll jump in because that's what I do. So a couple years ago, in 2016, we had a major jump in number of teams registering. We went from 40 to 78.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yes, it was a little nerve-wracking. But the thing is, I thought it was an anomaly. And we just hit 78 again today.
Wow. Oh,
So,
my gosh.
and we had 80 last year. So, and I know there's still teams forming. So it's sort of exciting to see that, like, what I thought was an anomaly and we're going to see some contraction is like, okay, nope,
Yeah.
here we are.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. I know that in Spain, they've also had a huge jump. So Spain is now our second most popular country in the world for registration. So they went from 38 girls in 2016 to over 500 girls in 2017. And this year they have over 1,000 girls. So that is definitely some dramatic program growth. So I think we're hearing some trends in a lot of different places where it's not just an anomaly, but it's continuing to expand on the previous year's work. Okay. Anyone else want to share a program update? I can share one if everyone's too shy, but girls from the Bay Area are going to go visit an HP career panel and see a screening of A Wrinkle in Time. So it's a career panel hosted by both Disney and HP. And after the career panel, they get a chance to watch A Wrinkle in Time, a new movie that's coming out. So we're really excited about that. And it's a great way to engage the girls from the Boys and Girls Club, which is an after-school program that's run in the Bay Area. So we're really excited to bring some, underserved girls to this event and also engage our alumni. We're going to be inviting our alumni to this event as well. Okay, if there's no one else who wants to share an update, even though I know you all have really, really wonderful ones. Phyllis hosted a STEM camp in Uganda recently. I know that, Spain is continuing to do wonderful stuff. Uzbekistan is hosting their first official regional pitch event this year, so I can brag about a few of you on today's call if you're too shy. So it's always so wonderful to share those. I always like sharing videos and photos with you, either on Slack and an email, so continue to share them with us. Okay, bye everyone. I'm going to end the meeting now, but thanks for joining, and we'll stay in touch over email.